Hello, hello out there. Hello, hello. Are you there? I feel like I'm saying, testing, testing. One, two, three. Boy, my glasses are dirty today. How are you all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It is Friday. Yay! Friday. Can't believe it. Time's just flying for me. I don't know how it is for you, but I mean, it just feels like it was just Monday. I remember feeling like, oh, good, I have a whole week before Mystic Fair. And the next thing you know, boom, tomorrow is fair day around here. So it's just it's time's just zooming. And how are you today? Let me know in the comments down there what's going on in your life. Susan was kind enough to remind me that I needed to bring the pendulum to our 420 tea and tarot today because I had said I wanted to do that on Wednesday. But if it wasn't for Susan, I wouldn't have my pendulum around here because I hung it back up over there. Now, most of you know that I love Jem's pendulums that she's made. Well, I love pendulums, but I'm particularly fond of Jem's pendulums because, well, I love Jem, and she sent me some, and we've been selling them at Mystic Fairs, and um, I interchange them. So if you buy one of Jem's pendulums, not only are they made by Jem, but and she always, when she makes them, she puts her own energy in the creation of each one is unique, and then she sends them to me and Grim uses them from time to time too, but I'm more the one that will grab a pendulum, and I fall in love with nearly every one of them. Some of them I've looked at and I said meh, but she knows that doesn't hurt her feelings. But this is one of the ones that I've been particularly drawn to right off the bat. It's got a little clock, a little watch, a little watch on the bottom, and then it's very simple but very cute. I call this the Alice in Wonderland watch. I don't know, well, maybe the talk or the clock is, the little white rabbit, and there's a pearl, and I don't know. To me, this is the Alice pendulum. So yes, I name them. I do. If any of you bought the pendulums that we had before, we had a friend of ours back in Washington State. She still makes them. We just don't, we don't, we are selling Gems pendulums now. Nothing really happened. We're just selling Gems pendulums. But my friend Joy was making pendulums, and that we sold those for a while. And I named all of those too. They were each named after, if I didn't name them because of a certain pull or feeling I got about them, then one of our witchlings in the at the Covenstead at the time, that was her task, was to match the energy and feeling of the pendulum to a god or goddess. And I gave her some oracle decks that had um, various, deities on them, and she was able to. So some people are conflicted. They think or maybe some people is me, but I am sometimes conflicted about whether or not I should name them because, it's a sacred tool. A pendulum is a divination tool. And, you know, but I look at it this way. It's kind of like, to me, it's not just a collection of beads and jewels and trinkets and baubles and things. To me, this is energy. And so when I receive them, and they're all unique, I name them, and when I work with them, and when I'm working with one, I tend to hang it near my bed. I I haven't been out much recently, but when we would go to fairs and festivals, I would always carry a few pendulums um, in my own. I have my own little trunk a little suitcase that I carry with the cards that I happen to be working with, and any pendulums or crystals or hagstones or whatever that I have. And I always usually have a pendulum on me, but since we haven't been going anywhere much, um, I've been hanging them on this little hook by my bed. And this one's been by my bed. This little Alice one has been there for a while. But I think it's kind of like when you adopt an animal from a shelter. Typically when they do the intake on the dog, they give it a name because you can't call every dog that comes through dog. I mean, you have to personalize it a little bit. And so I hope y'all can hear me because I just got that little low FPS sign again, which means there's too many things happening here. And Grim's not here to help me problem solve. Grim is outside raking leaves in the garden and getting the yard looking better. A lot of the a lot of the foliage outside hasn't really been taken care of, not really well, by someone that loves it, for a while. This church, my sister Christine owns it, but her mom and she own it, but she's busy. She's got a busy life and running two houses, and because she lives elsewhere off the property. And it's something that Grim and I love to do. We call it, putzing around outside. Well, he's putzing around today. So that's why Sir is not behind me as I'm doing this 420. But he wanted me to give you all his love and wish you all a really awesome weekend because we know it's the weekend. Um, but anyways, yeah, I'm, it's an as the crow flies day. I've got my cards somewhere. Where did he put my cards? Cards. Aha! Here they are. I just knew I'd have to look around. Got my cards, got my weed, got my tea. Look at this cute little thing. This was a gift from one of our Root and Read folks. And it says Witch's Brew. Grim and I spell witches this way with the Y. We'll tell you why someday. I've done it for a number of years, and it's one of those things like we spell magic differently too. And you don't have to spell it my way unless you're branding for the purple door. Then you have to spell it my way. But but she made these. She made this, and she's gonna make a few more. She's gonna bring them to not this Mystic Fair, but hopefully keep your fingers crossed next Mystic Fair. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Woo! There was a little hint of hibiscus there. Woo! I love that. I love it. It gives it just kind of this little tiny tartness that I like. All right. I'm going to go through here and say hello to folks and make sure we don't have any scammers floating around. You know, it's really frightening to me the number of particularly older folks who are falling victim to these scam artists who, they're being so bold right now. I don't even want to say the words because I don't want to put the words together in a sentence enough that somebody could go and make a little clip of me saying this, and then I just don't even want to put the words together because so many fake videos and stuff are out there now. I mean, I know even when we do these 420 tarots, I know I'm taking a risk because um, people are just I they're just capable of anything when it comes to making unintegral choices. I think they're capable of so much more bitterness and hate than I realized up until the last several years. And I hate to see anybody get taken advantage of, but when you start seeing videos out there, or I mean, videos out there. See, I'm worried about that. But let it go, Gussy, because you'll draw it to you. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. One of the unfortunate things that comes with my job, if you call being a witch full time a job, to me it isn't. It's my life. I'm one of the fortunate people that, for the most part, I get to live my life as authentically as I can. Yes, when I walk into places like the Secretary of State or a chocolate shop, I do get stared at. I do get, funny looks from people, and especially if Grim is with me. And if we're both, wearing our witch garb, which we tend to do when we go out. I mean, it's not like I don't get, completely black dress and the whole spiel every time, but I pretty much, you know, look like this, and sometimes I'll do my dreads up funky, or, you know, and sometimes we wear our witch hats all the time. When we first moved back to this part of the country, my sister was like, "You're not going to wear those out in public right now, are you?" And I go, "Yeah, we're going to the store and it's kind of chilly." She goes, "It's only September." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "If it was October, you could wear that out, but I don't think you should wear it in September." I was like, "Hey, uh, I wear this all the time." And she said, "Well, just not with me." Okay, just not with me. She has a deep witch wound from past lives that I know she's not even uh, willing to address yet. Um, Yet, she says with a plot in her mind. No, I'm not pushing her. She and we've known each other for 30 plus years, and we know where to push one another and we know when not to push. We've known each other a long time. And so, she needs to come to that realization on her own. I'm just going to continue talking about the moon, bringing in sticks, inviting people to Ostara rituals, and hosting tea parties at the church whenever I can. Oh my gosh. No, she's supportive of what we are doing. She supports what Graham and I do. And she is taking a bee wit is what I was going to say. A wee bit of a chance. Smoked a little too much weed, I guess. Not really though. Yeah. Make no never mind. It doesn't matter. But she was a little concerned that uh, she's been a wedding business here at the chapel for 10, 11 years. It's been a wedding chapel, and she does quite well. I mean, she's never overbooked, but she usually has several weddings a month. It gets a little quiet in January, February, March, but things usually pick back up in April, and then they zoom, for the rest of the year. Um, and she was concerned because folks that she doesn't want anybody to be offended or not feel comfortable in the chapel because they're worried about, witchcraft or whatever. And I get that. But I did tell her, well, you're just gonna attract a different kind of clientele is all. It's and you probably have been all along is what I told her. And it's funny because several of the recent brides that she's booked with have told her the reason they know about this is because of the Mystic Fair. Or when they find out about the Mystic Fair, because she'll say they'll want a Saturday that we have the Mystic Fair planned, and she'll say, "Oh, you just can't have that weekend because," and they'll go, "Oh my gosh, a Mystic Fair with metaphysical things and crystals? Yes, please." So I know I just jumped around to 1,000 topics, but hey, It's Friday. I smoked a little weed before you got here. I'm feeling good today. I actually slept like 12 hours almost straight. Only got up to pee once. That's something. So I am feeling good. So I want to say hello to Christy Reed and Susan. Hello, and Kaylee is here. I hope you're still here. That was 14 minutes ago, and I've been yapping away. Kaylee, nice to see you, lovely. Kimmy King is here. Hello. Hi, LJ. Gosh, LJ, you've been on my mind and Grimm's mind ever since our conversation last night, and I hope you're feeling good about your next step. Christy, it's been a beautiful stormy day here. Yes. On the Purple Door Animal Guild, if any of you are in the guild, one of our folks that's usually kind of quiet in there, although once in a while she'll pop up. I know she just recently fell in love with a bearded dragon, and she sent me a text and said, I never knew that something like this could be a familiar attached to me. I never knew it would be a lizard. And bearded dragons are actually a real favorite of quite a few witches because they do get this little personality about them. We were fortunate enough to live with one that came to the Covenstead for about a year. Her name was Sunny. She was lovely, and I really connected with that critter in a way that I was not expecting. So, speaking of critters, those of you that know Dizzied Up just lost her dog today, her fur baby, and y'all know what that's like. It's like losing a child. It really is, and I've lost a child, um, so I can say that. But yeah, give her some love if you know her, or if you don't, send a little you know, juju her way, because if you've lost a pet like that, that pet is a really irreverent and stupid word. And kind of so is fur baby to me. That's why I don't use that one either. So familiar feels good. And to me, that means an animal that isn't just a fur baby within your care, but a familiar is one that gives as much energy back to you as you give it. And you have such an intense connection to that animal that um, when you look forward to being with it and they with you. It's like, and you'll find that if you're working magic or reading a book about something metaphysical or talking to your friend about something, magical that's happening, or even watching 420. I know we have quite a few animals that will uh, hang around their loved ones and listen to 420 with you because they're in the same room. So, and I've had a chance to meet a few of those beloved animals from around the country, and it's wonderful. But yeah, send Dizzy some love. Cheryl Vandenberg too. She's not been on here very much lately. She's been going through some hard times with some loss herself, and so, and also Tammy Shepard, who was another one that stops in often, or was for a while. But sometimes when you lose a pet like that, and again, pet, familiar, fur baby, they're so special that the grieving, I don't know that it ever stops. And people that say, oh, it's just an animal, oh boy, don't get me started on that, because you know don't get me started. So don't get me started, Gussy. Shush, stop. Okay, more hellos. I'm going to do that. Susan Burkhouse, I wasn't able to be at Wednesday's tarot. I had no idea you wanted to use it today. Oh, Susan! And you didn't go back and watch it. Shame. It was a really good one. It was one of those that people texted us about afterwards and said it was a really good one. So I'm surprised. But that's cool. I love that kind of synchronicity. We are in tune, girl. Christy said, I love my pendulum she made. Um, Kaylee says beautiful. Shelly says hello. Cheryl Vandenberg, I was just talking about you. I hope you heard that. I love you so much. I'm glad you're here. Deb Kirkland, hello. I hope everyone's doing well. Yes, yes. Michelle is here. Hello. Um, and Mills, oh, there's a name I haven't seen for a minute. How you doing? Hello, Claudia. Cloudy, Cloudied up. We love you. Jerry's here. He is keeper of the sacred bus right now. So, Jerry, we've been thinking about trying to get over there. We still haven't found the keys. So, oh, and Gigi Hall Rivera is here. Gigi also bought a pendulum recently. I think she bought a joyful pendulum, not one of Jem's pendulums. But, oh, I love it. I love all of you folks. I'm so glad you're here. I really don't know what I'm going to talk about today. It's an As the Crow Flies day. I'm going to light our little pink lotus candle, but I don't know where Graham put the stand that I usually sit it on. So with that, just open this space, cast our circle, get things glowing. Yeah, put my own lighter back because I like to keep it there so I don't have to look around for one. And let's just center ourselves here on this Friday, March 15th, Ides of March. You know, before I go there, this time of year, there's typically a big push in the pagan community, and there's kind of this controversy out there about celebrating St. Patrick's Day. And indeed, you know, I've been to Ireland a few times. I used to date a fellow that lived there and went there for work a few times. And um, had some friends that would come over. I used to live in Chelsea, Michigan, and they would come. I forget why they were in town, but I met them at the pub one day. I was much younger. But I remember it was near St. Patrick's Day, and they had come. Oh, they came into town. They had business that they would do. I think it was at the. Remember Jiffy Mix? You know, the cornbread mix and all that. That's made in Chelsea, Michigan. There's a big mill there. A lot of folks work there. And I think they were attached to that somehow, or they were learning to do it and they were opening their own. Who knows? Who knows? That's not the important part. The important part is they were Irish. And most of the Irish people that I talk to they do not celebrate St. Patrick's Day the way we do. Where do you put my Kleenex? Because you know I'm going to sneeze. I'll be right back. Nope. Yep. You guys, I don't even see. Hold on. Got something. Good old toilet paper. It'll do in a pinch. And it's softer, I'll be honest. Okay. I don't remember what I was saying, but I'm so excited today, anyways. I've just been talking your ear off, and that's okay because it's Friday and it's sunny here. It's lovely outside here. I know there's been a lot of storms going on and all of that, but um, uh, hanky in the pocket. You know, I used to keep a hanky in my pocket, um, especially, you know, but where I don't even know where my purse is. Oh, there's my purse. It's in my purse. I didn't even think of that. Um, anyways, gosh, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. Let's bring it in, Gussy. Bring it in. Do some breathing. I'm just, I mean, I know you've probably have noticed a shift in my energy, but I'm feeling good today, and it makes a big difference. as some of you know who have a chronic illness, that when you do have a good day, it's like celebrate. You know what I mean? I'm moving today. I feel good. It's sunny. Um, I literally, if I could find a place to live that had weather somewhere between the 50, like low 50s up to high 70s bracket, and really that's as hot as it got and as cool as it got, I would be fine. I'd be great. Hair isn't frizzy. Bones are working, all the joints, and but I know that just around the corner is summer, and it's going to be one hell of a summer this year. We know it. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot. I think all summers are from here on out. Okay. Yes, yes, I remember. I know. I need to remember when. Yes, I'll do that. I'll do that, I promise. Okay. Oh, take some deep breaths if you can. Boy, this is usually my relaxed time, but I feel so good today, and I feel just surrounded by a lot of uh, I don't know, small successes. They make a big difference. And yes, yeah, they do celebrate St. Patrick's in their own way. Uh, it's just different. And also, when I've been there, there is so much reverence to St. Patrick everywhere. It's not just on like one day of the year, although I know that's his sainted day. But it's much more of a reverent thing. It isn't drinking beer and playing songs and making the river turn green and all of that stuff. It's much, much more somber, as it was probably originally intended. But there's always a big beef in the pagan community about celebrating this Irish holiday the American way, or or not, because Saint Patrick, supposedly there's the story that driving the snakes out of Ireland is actually a metaphor for eradicating the pagan way of life out of that part of the world. And so there's usually a debate about whether that is something to celebrate or something to not celebrate. But I'll tell you this, my ancestors here in North America, they celebrated the fourth. I mean, the fourth. They celebrated, that's another controversial thing, isn't it? They celebrated St. Patrick's Day. And I'm a pagan. And of course, I don't want to, celebrate a day where many people of my ilk, and probably me, I probably was one of those people back then that was slaughtered for my beliefs. That's not why I celebrate. I'm not celebrating Saint Patrick on that day. I tip my hat to, I honestly tip my hat to the fact that it's kind of, to me, a fey day. To me, it's a tip of the hat, the pot of gold and the leprechauns and the rainbows and the Irish. Let's leave St. Patrick out of it altogether and just celebrate. So many of us have Irish heritage, and the Irish were such a huge cultural influence on this country that, uh, you know, if they never landed on these shores, if the Irish were never part of the equation, America, North United States of America would look much, and Canada would look much different than it does now, because that culture influenced so much of who we are. And so we honor that. And to me, I always buy my corned beef on sale the day after St. Patrick's Day, and so we celebrate it afterwards. But it's not about St. Patrick for Grim and I, or for people around us. It's about the connection to the ancestors. And as a matter of fact, when I was about ready to cast our circle, pardon me, pardon me, third time's a charm. One more? Nope, not yet. Uh, I was trying to focus, and I kept hearing somebody out there wants me to mention the Irish. Mention the Irish. It's an important day. And so if I want you to feel okay, if you're a witch and or a pagan, or however you identify, and you celebrate uh, St. Patrick's Day, it's okay. Don't feel guilty. We're not celebrating the slaughter of 1,000 pagans. I mean, you can look at it that way if you want to, but I like that we have a day set aside to honor that culture, even though it's kind of a weirdly silly and irreverent day, which is also kind of questionable. I don't get the green beer and all that, but don't understand it other than wealth. I mean, maybe the green is representing wealth. So also, let's celebrate it for that reason too, right? Let's celebrate prosperity. That's why the Irish came to America. Well, some of them came to America looking for a dream. Some of them were brought here as indentured servants, but but a lot of them thrived, and that's why a lot of us have genetic, history with the Irish culture, because they're in our very blood. And not everybody, I know, but a lot of you folks out there that um, are chatting with me here and listening to me chat, have Irish blood. And we've talked about the fact that we'll probably end up, when I do our family tree big enough, I've been working on my family tree for about 30 years or more. But, and Grim too, we've got a lot on our tree. But I know I'm going to find some of you on there. And as a matter of fact, somebody recently just told me that her family was from this one certain part of Germany, and lo and behold, this little village that my folks were also from, not my parents, but my, long ago, my ancestors used to live in the same little village. So the chances that we're cousins, or at least, our families knew one another. And back then, everybody kind of, you know, you didn't go outside of the village very much to get married in the Middle Ages. Pardon me, you all. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to read. There's some bless yous up there. Thank you. Thank you. Um, let's see. Storm overhead. Catch up later. Love and blessings. Hey, LG. I'm glad. Just go be safe. Um, we all have differences. There are plenty of pagans in Ireland today. Yes, there are. My Irish grandmother and her mother before her and on were pagans. Celtic, absolutely, me too. It's just, hey, my ancestors are Irish Day. Yes, it really has become that. Flip it around and celebrate the fact that we still exist and grow stronger every day. Yes, indeed. I don't know what that's in response to, but I agree. Whoop, scrolling the wrong thing here. All right. Come on, I keep scrolling this admin bar here. Okay. And then Shelley says he may have driven out paganism from Ireland, but he didn't drive the Ireland out of the pagan diaspora. Oh, he certainly did not. As a matter of fact, it never disappeared. You know that it never disappeared. It just changed a little. That's why we call things like mustard, eye of newt. That's why we do, because things had to be kept secret. That's why that's why witches, wise women were, created their own grimoires and book of shadows to keep things secret and safe. And that's why things were often written with, other language or in an unknown script that sometimes only the witch could decipher. And, there is a big reason why, isn't there? Oh my goodness. All right. Got some cards out, got my pendulum. Keep in mind, I might do some yes and no questions at the end. So if you have some, okay, oh yes. Lovely energy today. Lovely energy, even in the midst of those storms. And I'm so sorry to those folks that have lost their lives. Um, oh yeah, also Norma needs a little extra love. Her son isn't feeling well, so just send some love. And also Sparkled Up. If you know Sparkle, she was called down to Alabama to be with her man's grandmother. She is exiting the world. So send a little X, because those are hard moments. Those are hard moments, no matter how you go. All right. Oh my goodness. Ooh, wow. Okay. That green energy directed straight to our heart chakra, just swirling and lovely. It's kind of a lime green, misty, swirly energy. Let's focus there, and now it's shifting to blue. Allow those frequencies to come in. If you're one of those people that have been getting a lot of like high pitched, sharp ear sounds, like that high pitched wee sound that you get sometimes, just breathe yourself through it. Tell yourself to align. It's time to align. Let's align and clear and cleanse and just reconnect the areas that we need to. Breathing in and breathing out that healing energy. It's around us all the time. It's never separate. But in these physical vessels, a lot of times we hold on to things. This energy space right around us that we sometimes hear called aura or vibrational frequency field, that space we also hold on a lot. This is why sometimes you carry on in your mind, you think about something that's really bothering you, about someone or something happening, and you let it weigh on your shoulders and weigh on your shoulders and weigh on your shoulders until you kaboom. It's like you can only hold in so much, and then it's gonna break. Just like when you fill a glass with water, it will fill up to the brim and then fill up just a little over the brim. There's that kind, I forget what that's called. I'm not a biology student anymore, but a little bit of bubble over the top of the glass, but as soon as it gets a little higher, it's going to run right down the edge. And that's kind of how it is with our emotions sometimes when we hold a lot of that stuff in. So letting that out and allowing that beautiful white light crystalline energy, and in this case I'm also seeing a lot of blue and green frequency flowing in. So allowing ourselves to be embraced by that energy, allowing, ooh, there's that nice shift into indigo and violet. That's beautiful. A lot of you are really getting good at that. I'm glad you're meditating on your own and taking some time out. Even if it's just for a few minutes a day, it makes a big difference. A shift in your energy is a shift in your energy. And sitting in that stew pot all day, you can't do that. Let that energy out. Get some fresh veggies in. You know, nobody wants stale soup. Oh, Mother, Father, God, Goddess energy, connecting to that divine presence in our lives and calling in our beloved ancestors, Irish or not. Yes, we know you're here. Yes, we know how closely you feel connected to the holiday. And some of them are actually worried that that holiday will be let go. They're worried about that. And I actually kind of understand that. Uh, so we'll see. We'll see where it heads. But I know that that we honor you here in this space. All ancestors, not just the Irish ones, but a particular tip of the hat to our Irish Fey ancestry. I'm compelled to stop right here and tell you all something that I don't know if you know this or not, but back before the Romans invaded the British Isle, uh, it was well known to be a land of mystery and secrets and magic. England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, they were known to be full of magical people and magical places. And as a matter of fact, England wasn't originally called England, it was originally referred to as Albion. Look it up. Albion. That's a word that, there's a lot of cities and towns across the world named Albion, a lot of city streets and whatnot, but I doubt people really know why. Look it up sometime. Uh, but when you think about those Celtic tribes that settled there, and you think about how did all of this mystique and mystery about magic, that's why the Romans wanted to conquer that land, because I mean it was a place that was sort of an untouchable, right? It was kind of, it just had this reputation. And I think it was, I want to say, was it Nero or was that the Boudica one? Because there were so many Roman emperors, it's really hard to keep them all straight for me. But at any rate, uh, yes, that area of the world was considered very magical, and I know it's because a lot of our Fey ancestors, that's where they lived. You know, it just makes so much sense to me. It really, really does. And we honor them as well. You guys hear me say that a lot when I cast a circle. I often invite the Fae, if not every time. I've been working with Fae magic since I was a young witch, and it just came to me that that's the magic I needed to work with. Uh, I also work. I don't like to put labels, but I work a lot with Avalonian magic traditions. So a lot of my magic traces right back to that area of the world. And it feels so comfortable for me there. Let's pull a card for the group. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm glad you get to see me being happy and not disheveled and feeling like hell. Uh, I'm really hoping that things start turning around for us all. There was a big shift on Sunday. Uh, I'm going to have to talk to Copper to see if there was something astrologically speaking that I don't know about, because I was not feeling well, so everything kind of goes under the radar, but or over the radar. I don't pay attention, is what I'm trying to say. At that time, I'm feeling bad, and I'm like, okay, I know some of this is spiritual, but also, I feel like shit. So, but not today. Today I feel good, and I just put the cards out here. I did my spread, and this card is so popping right out. This is for us. Ooh, this is the Dark Mansion Tarot deck that I just recently was gifted last month, I believe. Dark Mansion Tarot. And it is the Lover's card. I love the artwork in this one. Well, look at that. There seems to be a third person in the picture on this card. Someone that looks a little bit jealous, to be honest. But that's not what we're here about. Let's see what we're looking at. Okay. So I'm to remind you that oh, I like that. I'm to remind you that many places around, at least where we live here, I don't know about Ireland and England and Australia and South America. I haven't been keeping track much, but here in North America, we're experiencing an early spring. And although it just like snowed like hell in Denver, but that's, anyways, we're having an early spring, and it is a time that a lot of us feel a little extra pep in our step. It is natural for us to feel that pep because it's basically part of who we are genetically. This is the time of year when things start to blossom and bloom. It's when a lot of calves are born. It's when a lot of just rejuvenated energy is all around us. And so we also pick up on that and start to respond as well. This is the perfect time for you right now to start planning and I have to listen to this too, what is your physical plan going to be? You've been a little bit sedentary. I know some of you walk to the store, and some of you that live in cities, and some of you have chores. I get it. I get it. I get it. But there's something I'm supposed to say you're not paying attention to with your health. And I'm told you know what it is. Like you know how to fix it and you choose not to. And um and so if you're choosing not to, and yet you're praying to the, God, Goddess, you're asking the divine connection, you're asking the universe to help you guide on your next best step, but you continue not providing that next best step, even though you already know something that would help you. I'm talking about things like food that you shouldn't consume. If there's something that you shouldn't eat, the way it affects you, and I'm listening to because I have some digestion issues, and I know some of them must be flaring up my immune system. So I need to be more cognizant of it too. But along with that, consider how you're going to address your health. Are you going to get out and walk more? Are you going to start dancing in your living room every morning for 20 minutes to Inagata Davida? Are you going to, it's 20 minutes long, that song, that's why I said that. Are you going to start shifting the way you're eating? Um, and this is not a scold. I'm not scolding you because see, the thing is that we're all on our own paths and we have free will to continue doing what we want to do. But I think there's a part of us when we know that we need to walk or we need to eat differently or that's self-care. Break it down. That's you not giving enough shit about yourself. Or, hear me out, or there's a part of you that is accustomed to the scolding. Because I just had this conversation with someone a couple days ago. While she's eating the food that she knows will eventually make her ill, she doesn't feel bad. But when she's done, but when as soon as it's done being consumed, she starts in with the inner dialogue, scolding herself about how shouldn't do it, shouldn't do it, shouldn't do it, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes gets very, very nasty with herself. I know we've all been there. We get like, we all have that voice. That's not, that voice, that critical voice, it's there. But you got to control that one. That's another story for another day. But focus on your health. Don't let poor choices be the reason that you still feel bad. And if you're one of those people that is, consuming food and then feeling bad afterwards and scolding yourself, you got some shadow work to do, plain and simple. And yes, I'm hearing that too. Yes, yes. I'm also supposed to mention the person that has a physical plan, wants to, say, yes, I would like to go for a walk, but you can't really have a plan because you don't know how you're going to feel the next day. And it feels like you are oftentimes putting things off, putting things off. A friend has maybe asked you if you wanted to go for a walk at the park, and you've said yes because you mean it in the moment. But if you don't go right then, you're not going. And so I think maybe being a little more mindful that you need to be present and commit to doing something and then not put it off until things are better. Just go do it. Just go do it. Just like that. What was that commercial? Just do it. Was that Nike? I think that's the attitude we need. Is don't say I should go rake the leaves. Just go do it. You know, because we find 1,000 excuses why we shouldn't do yoga in the morning. You know, we find many reasons why we can't follow through for things with ourselves like that. Yet, if it was someone within our care that was making those poor choices, we would talk to them about it. We'd say, I don't like how you're treating yourself. I think you should consider not, not doing that behavior. We would so take some time to talk to yourself this weekend and find out what it is. I don't know that we can solve the whole problem in one weekend, but you never know. Take some time to think about holding you back. What's holding you back from being a healthier version of you? All right, let's read. Let's read. Uh, there was Shelley that said the pagan diaspora. I love the positive side of this. Fay Day, Irish Pride Day. Oh, I love Fay Day. Yes, we'll call it Fay Day, Irish Pride. That's absolutely true. That's why I used the quotation, he didn't drive out poo. No, he didn't. They were there everywhere, and they still are. Sending healing, love, and positive energy to all who need it. Thank you, Kimmy. Surface tension, yes, that's the one. I love you too, Kelly. Um, oh, you have a question, but you're going to go. All right. The invading warriors were frightened of the magic of the people and land. It put the invaders at a disadvantage. It sure did. It sure did. Gigi said that card struck home. Where did it go? It just popped out of there. This strikes home with me: physical health and gastrointestinal issues. Self care equals self love. Brandon's here. Hello. So you probably figured out what we're talking about. Um, oh, Gigi bought a small treadmill. Good for you. Speaking of just do it, I just let few people see a side of me that's normally left at home. Well, isn't that wonderful? I'm glad you found a tribe of people locally in the physical, because you're part of us too. I'm not letting you go. But I'm glad you found someone in your life that you could connect with like that. That is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Alrighty, I am about to offer y'all to do a few pendulum questions if anybody has it. Um, I can do yes or no. If you need more, like you want to find out where you're supposed to move or more intricate questions than just yes or no, you can always, uh, send me a text message and I'll pop my pendulum out. Better yet, book a reading with me and I'm able to do that as well. I'd prefer it if you do it that way because then it goes on my calendar and I don't forget. When people send me text messages, I'll say, yeah, yeah, I'll agree to something. And then a lot of times I'll forget. And if they don't come back, it gets lost in the milieu of messages that I have per day. So, all right. Oh, yes, please do, Brandon. I'd love to see the video. Brandon's been doing some 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 how can I can't think of the word, philanthropic work, philanthropic volunteerism. Um, and if you're interested in knowing more about that, send him a quick question. He's active in the Muslim community, and they're also um, he's involved with a group of folks that are in protest against what's happening in Palestine right now. So uh, I don't get me started. I get a lump in my throat. So all right, anybody got a yes or no question for me? Nobody has one. Nobody, not one. Nothing. You don't have any burning questions. Nobody wants to see me use cute little Alice. Alice says yes. No, she didn't. She actually said no. Hey, no pressure. If you don't have a question, that's okay. I'll just keep sitting here chatting. I'm only 4 minutes from, less than 4 minutes from being on here for a full hour. So I think I probably should let you go anyways. So maybe I'll just do my blurb here about, uh, don't forget. Oh, wait. Oh, I got a question. Yay. Thank you, Kimmy. Let me see. I already know the answer to that, but let me see. Oh, Cheryl, of course you get a reading after all this time. If you, yes, absolutely. There's no expiration. If you pay me for a reading, you get a reading. See, my pendulum even says yes. Okay, let me set my yes. Is Graham wearing purple underwear? No. I told him he's not ever allowed to buy a pair of purple underwear because I use that as my no question so frequently that if he ever did it to just flub me up during a reading, he could easily do it just by putting on a pair of purple underwear because I wouldn't be able to calibrate my pendulum. Okay, so, all right. Am I where I should be at this moment? This one is for Kimmy King. Is Kimmy where she's supposed to be at this moment? You already know the answer. I knew you already knew the answer. But no, no, you are not. No, I think you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to stay nearby. But there's too much. It's too much where you are. That's what I'm hearing. It's too much. And so, yes, the pendulum is saying yes with me. So, yeah, there needs to be a shift of some sort. But I see the need for you to stay nearby because of the grandchildren. That's, and I see I think there might be one in particular who's drawn to your energy more than another. I don't know how many grandchildren you have, but it feels like there's one that you're supposed to be an influence on their life. So, I mean, grandmothers usually are, but I mean, I think in a magical way, like this child is curious about magic. Most of them are, but this one will remain curious, and you already kind of know who it is. So, anyways, that's a long way of saying no, you're not where you're supposed to be at this moment. I think you're supposed to be where you are spiritually, but physically is where it feels off. That's the part that feels off. Okay. Cheryl said, I used to, but the most obnoxious underwear I could find. I used to buy the most obnoxious underwear I could find. My grandma doesn't wear underwear. Shy, he'll probably be mad that I told you all that, but he's never. Since the beginning of our relationship, he never has. He just doesn't. All right, let's see. Commando. That's what we call it here. Let's see. Kimmy King says, Yeppers, you're dead on there. She's my peach. Will I ever have a grandchild? Let me ask that. Sometimes you got to untangle them. If you get, if you get one that's just like a little jewel on the end, you can find those on Amazon. They sell them everywhere. It's just like a little crystal on the end, a point and a string, and maybe a little bead up here. Those don't get too kinked up, but these kinds that I like the little fancy schmancy. I like the gussied up ones. So these, they get a little tangled. You got to take some time to do that. But let's ask this question. Oh, big ol' yes, Cheryl. I mean, I didn't even have to even ask it out loud, and it just started swinging. I'm moving a little bit, yes. I gotta balance my elbow on the table. That makes it solid. Still getting a yes. Still getting a yes. So I would say that yes, you are. It's a really solid yes until I said that, and now it's going a little sideways. I think that's your doubt. I think that's your doubt. Um, I'm being told to tell you to shift your expectation about that. I wish I had a little more information to tell you other than shift your expectation, but it's almost like you're already experiencing disappointment because you don't think that you will ever be a grandmother. So you're already allowing yourself to experience disappointment. So you've got to be careful that you don't manifest it because you're kind of subconsciously focusing on it's probably never going to happen. But I just got a huge yes for you twice. So I think it is. Just maybe somehow let go of that expectation so that it isn't something that you think about. Although I know it's not like a pressing issue in your mind. I know you were thinking of a yes and no because you wanted to help me answer some yes and no questions today. And I appreciate that. So I know it's not this burning issue necessarily, but it does kind of percolate in the back of your mind. And I get it. I'm a mom. My eldest turns 30 in September, and he just got married last September. And I don't know, if I'll be a grandmother. The millennials are choosing differently about having children than some of our previous generations have done. And, so I've had to really just be okay with, I've really been working on allowing that to just lift off my shoulder. I don't need that expectation. That is something that is like driven into our minds about procreating and carrying on the family. And, I want it like you do, Cheryl. I just want to have a baby in the family again. I love babies and can't have any more of my own. But I think we just need to shift that expectation somehow. And I keep hearing somebody keeps saying, I'm hearing it in the background. I don't think it's, I think it's one of you all. I'm picking up a thought. It's like something about the dog. Yeah, I don't want to, like I've got a grand dog and a grand cat. And, and I think that's all I'm going to get. Something along that line, some kind of a laughy thing. So whoever that is out there, I feel you. I do, I do. Okay, Deb Kirkland's taking off. She's got to run. You have an awesome weekend too. Uh, Bianca says, "Am I ready to start doing energy work for others?" Let me see here. And before I do that, Cheryl says, "We can discuss in my reading. I have worries about my daughter right now, but yes, in the back of my mind." Yep, I was picking that up. Okay, this is for Bianca Iverson. I wish I knew you better, hon. But I'm a teacher of teachers. So you must be here for a good reason. Oh, yes, look at that. Yes, indeed. Now, let me find out your question. Are you ready to start? I want to get it right. Am I ready to start doing energy work for others? Is Bianca ready to start doing energy work for others? Getting a tiny, hold on. Okay. I got the tiniest, teeniest little yes, followed by the tiniest, teeniest little no, followed by the tiniest, teeniest little yes. What this is telling me is that you don't need to have my pendulum tell you that you're ready. You don't feel ready in your heart or your mind yet. And I think this has more to do with that old imposter syndrome that a lot of us suffer from, especially when you're working with energy or giving readings like I do or whatnot. There's a lot of room for head scratching and wondering if you're saying it right, doing it right. There's a bit of people will approach me for a reading and then purposely try. This always happens in person. It has never happened online that I'm aware of, but I've had people come to me in person to get a reading, and then they purposely try to like throw me off so that I don't get the answer right. There's a lot of bullfuckery out there, considering those of us that work with energy and healing and whatnot. Because half the people out in the world don't believe in what we believe in. They're not awakened yet. They still scoff at it and think it's all a bunch of woo woo. I think you're working through some of that still in your own mind about being authentically you, and if you're offering this work to other people, are you doing it for the right reasons, and are you good enough? Do you know enough? I think that the answer is yes to that. I think you already know that you are ready. I think that your self doubt is what, swung me back around to the no. I think that you are ready as long as you're coming from a place of integrity. And that means you're not doing it just to get rich. You're not doing it because you think it's going to be a great way to make money. You're doing it because you're called to do it. You're doing it because it's needed and necessary, and you're called toward that. That is how I feel about it. And that's just my 2 cents worth. Um, and my pendulum's 2 cents worth. All right, let's see here. You're very welcome, Cheryl. Very, very glad I could talk to you. Kimmy says, those who have a desire to help babies, have babies, try maybe volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club or check into Big Brothers, Big Sisters clubs. Kimmy, I'm going to have to tell you about that one sometime. Also, kids in the system can always use some loving individuals in their lives. That's very true. That is very, very true. Um, I just know some folks. Bianca, Cheryl, Bianca, hold on, I'm not reading this soon. Oh, Bianca says we will meet soon. I plan to try to come to one of your events. Oh, I'm so tickled about that. Let me know if you do. Sometimes, like a couple of months ago, I had 3 gals show up. They drove up from Kentucky, and I didn't know they were coming, so um, I had already like made plans to do something else, and they were hoping that we could go out for dinner after. And I would have loved to spend some time with them, but I didn't know they were coming. So I don't know where you're from, Bianca, but when you're coming, if you're able to, let me know in advance. I like to know any of our folks in advance so that I can. Cheryl says, Bianca, you have to believe in yourself. I'm a Reiki master. You know you can do. Don't doubt yourself. Very true. That's exactly true. Um, Bianca says that's so accurate. Need to accept my calling. Yeah, that's a hard one. And a lot of these folks that have been following my husband and I for a few years, they've seen a shift in me through the early days of me doing 420 tarot, and we used to do another live stream. But they watched me kind of morph. I was very kind of timid about stepping into this place at first when we started. I knew that I was called um, to High Priestess of my coven. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Um, didn't know if I even wanted to accept that mantle. Um, but when the goddess calls you, you either listen or you go a little cuckoo. In my book, it's like when you get that calling. And by the way, oh, I know I've been yapping for a long time, but I have to tell you this. I must have a shadow about talking too much because I've noticed I've mentioned that like 3 or 4 times in this particular 420. So note to self, check that out. Um, a lot of people have been commenting to me in readings or sending questions out to me about how someone they know, or maybe even themselves, have been having these dreams about being chased, and in particular being chased or somehow near dogs, snarling and biting and whatnot. And and so I've had people ask me, I think I'm being attacked by a demon. I think I'm hexed or cursed. I think, and what I want to say is that a lot of times when you're called by the goddess Hecate in particular, there are dogs involved, um, and that feeling of being chased often has to do with you running from an aspect of yourself that you're afraid of. And so, if you know anybody that's experiencing that right now, I feel like that's a part of the journey of accepting your spiritual path. I think if you can turn around and face those snarling dogs and look at that face in whoever that happens to be, uh, when I turned around on that path with those snarling dogs, I found a version of myself. And that is who I'm in the process of becoming. And so there you go. I don't know what that was all about, but my gift of knowledge to you. Don't forget, oh, in spirit, I'm always guided by. Never do this alone. I never do this alone. Don't ever think for 1 minute that I take 100% credit, because I know I'm not alone. My knowledge, it, I'm not great at math. I can teach math really well, but I'm not great at math. But I'm good. I got some skills in some other areas. Anyways, don't forget. Speaking of math, tonight at 9 p.m. We'd love it if you join us for Pause for Peace. It is just take some time out for yourself, do some breathing, let some stuff go, ground, do a little meditation for yourself. Listen to some music if you need to, lay on the ground flat if it helps you, go outside in nature with your shoes off if that is what you're called to do. But sometime tonight, doesn't have to be 9 p.m. It's not like we do it as a, coordinated effort. You do it at your time, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is the closest we get to coordinating, but you realize there are 23 other time zones in the world. So that being said, um, there's that. End of the month is our Purple Door Witch Wave, which we would love to have you join us. That's another online meditation. I think there's going to be some items involved in that one, like probably bring a candle. Always bring something to write with and write on. Always, always. Don't even come to a reading with me without bringing something to write with and write on, because I always give homework. But I won't give homework on the meditation, but something we say or something might happen that you want to jot some notes down, and it's good to have for later. So that's the 28th of the month, and that is at 9 p.m. Purple Door Witch Wave. First Monday of the month, that will be the first Monday in April, which also happens to be April Fool's Day, is our first Monday of the month live stream. That's at 7 o'clock, and we'll be we'll be disgusting. We might. We might be disgusting, but we'll also be discussing astrology. Yeah, we're discussing astrology. So There you go. I think that's it. I'm going to say it one more time just to get it off my chest. I've been yapping at you long enough. You can bet I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look into that this weekend. I'm going to meditate, figure out my strategy. All right, y'all. Uh, Kimmy says I friggin' cackled. It has been a wonderful day. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Uh, get outside if you have nice weather. Stay inside safe if you don't. And as always, I'll see you on Monday for 20 Tea and Tarot. Stay magical.